So we have some friends who were going to come camping with us tonight, but they canceled out on us. And it's not because it's been raining off and on, which it has been, but it's because of this lantern you can see right here on the side of our fire pit. And what happened with this lantern about 4 nights ago when we tried to camp out here for the first time. We're going to get to the bottom of this tonight, and we're going to do it on video so you get to see exactly what did or did not happen with the lantern. Here's the backstory. Okay, our son's best friend and his parents, who've become really good best friends of my wife and I, decided we would camp up here at our campground. We're up here at the top of our homestead, family campground. Whereas, you know, if you've been following the channel for some time, odd things have happened. So we're up here, the family comes up early, they pitch their tent, we pitch ours. The boys are playing in the field, having a great time. It's like we're not here, but of course we're keeping an eye on them the whole time. We have a wonderful dinner. We grill hot dogs on the fire. We make s'mores. Night comes, and as often happens around campfires the world over, stories begin being told. And some of the videos that we've had on our YouTube channel comes up. This couple watches our videos. And the wife asked me, she says, "Kevin, I'm curious. How do you get all that stuff in the background to move?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, I'll watch your videos and I'm getting your six. I'm watching back in the background like everybody else does. And I'll just see what looks like a head peeking around the side of a tree and then going back. Or I'll see something fall from a tree that looks like it's obviously a stick, but then it goes back up, but not up the side of a tree like a squirrel, but like in thin air." She says, "How do you do that? Do you have like mechanical timers? Do you have props in place, gravity functioning stuff?" And I'm like, "I don't do any of that stuff." I said, "I sit here, I talk like I am right now. And if anybody or anything is out there listening and they feel compelled to get closer, they do. And that's what you're seeing in the background." And she laughs and she goes, "Oh, come on now. That's just, some of that stuff's kind of creepy." And I said to her, "It's the stuff you don't see when I come up and make these videos that's even creepier." And she said, "Like what?" And I said, "You don't want to know." I said, "We're up here where it happens. It's coming on midnight. You don't want to hear these stories." And she goes, "Just tell me one. Just tell me one." So I told her the one about the time Dearly and I were playing with Daniel's drone that this lady's mother had actually bought Daniel as a gift. He got stuck in the pine tree behind the house. The next morning, it was at the back door, just a few steps away from the door. And, you know, of course, we have an awning on the back porch, so there's no way to explain that. And she said, "Oh, I've heard that story. I've seen that video. Tell me something else." And I was like, "Well, you know, that was the drone in the tree, but there's been other times we've left things up here that we didn't even know we left up here. And they've ended up in different places." I said, "You know, a couple weeks ago, it was a seashell your father had given Dearly." This girl is the daughter of the shell collector that goes all over the place collecting shells. I said, "We left it up here by the campfire pit. And then I found it several days later out in the woods by a tree we use as a gifting tree, so that had been moved." I said, "We lost a lighter once. We came up here, built a campfire, couldn't find the lighter, and it ended up being on the back porch on the picnic table. And I never took it. Dearly never took it. Nobody took that lighter down there. We lost it up here in the grass." Excuse me. I was afraid I was going to run it over with the lawnmower. So I'm telling her these stories, and she's just listening and listening. I'm getting into it, and I'm like, and I'm going to make sure to get all my six back here. I said, and it's stuff like coming up, and as soon as I stop recording the video, I'll hear a tree knock so loud that's only 30 or 40 yards away that whatever made that tree knock, that sound, if it weren't for the brush, I would be able to see it. There's something, I feel there's something back there. The sound didn't come from out of nowhere, but and then howls and growls. People have reported hearing howls and growls in the videos. When I stop recording, there's so many times there'll be almost like a chuckle, like a growlish chuckle. And I told her, I feel as if he, she, it, or they're drawn into these stories. They listen, but they know exactly when I stop telling them, or at least when I stop recording, because that's when they make their presence known the most. So we sit there in silence for a minute or two. She looks at my wife and she says, "We got to go sleep in the house. We can't keep up here. We can't camp up here tonight. The boys will be too terrified after hearing these stories." And I said, "They're asleep. I wouldn't have told these stories if they were awake to hear them. I would never do that." And she goes, and she sits there in silence and she's looking around. She's fidgeting. She looks at my wife. She goes, "We got to stay inside because I can't sleep up here, you know, after hearing these stories." So her husband laughs at her. We're all laughing at her. Her husband convinces her to give it a try. So we all go into our tent shortly after that. I go to sleep pretty quickly. I mean, I'm not scared. This is my place. I'm up here daytime, nighttime, and whatever may or may not be up here, I believe it means me no harm. I've been here long enough. I've witnessed these things long enough to where if harm was meant for me, harm would have been done to me by now. So I feel okay. So about an hour or so goes by. I awaken because I've got to relieve myself, and I hear what sounds like clanging chains way down in the bottom of my field, a quarter of a mile away. It's big property. So I'm just assuming it's hunting dogs because there are a lot of hunters around here. They run their dogs at night to get their training and whatnot, treeing raccoons, chasing foxes, finding bears, all these things. So I get out of the tent, do my business, get back in the tent, go back to sleep. Don't even think twice about anything. About 30 minutes later, this other couple shaking our tent saying, we got to go in the house, we got to go in the house. So they were up, they lit their lantern, put it on the side of the campfire here, the campfire ring, like this lit lantern right now is. We woke up, got our lantern, everybody got their shoes on, and we went down the house. She's telling us the story while we're going to the house. She got up too because she heard what sounded like chains clanging down in the lower field. I'm like, it's just dogs. They're hunting dogs. And she goes, no, they stopped, and then 2 seconds later they're clanging right outside my tent. She said they never clanged as something ran across the field, and nothing could run across the field that distance in 2 seconds anyway. Let's go. So we're almost running. We get down to the house. We turn around just before we get to the garage, which kind of blocks the view of the back door of our campground. My friend looks up and he goes, oh shoot, I forgot my lantern. His wife says, we'll get it tomorrow. She grabs him, pulls him in the house. We all go in the house. We go to, we let them use some guest rooms. We all went to sleep. Next morning, about 6 a.m., I get up. I go out on the back porch to drink my coffee, and there's the lantern that had been left up here the night before sitting on the picnic table on the back porch. And I think, my buddy must have gone up and gotten the lantern. So he comes out just a little bit later. He had his cup of coffee. He sits down. And I said, well, you must have gotten up early. How long have you been up? And he said, well, I just got up. And I said, well, what about the lantern? Did you go back up there last night before you went to sleep to get the lantern? He said, I didn't get the lantern. And I said, well, it's right here on the picnic table. So he turns around, he looks, he sees the lantern. He said, yeah, okay, so you went up this morning and got the lantern, and you're playing one of these, one of your funny YouTube video mind game things. I said, I did not go up and get that lantern. He claims he didn't get the lantern. So the wives, of course, claim they never left the house. No one got the lantern. So long story short, too late, I know. We were supposed to camp again tonight, and they refused to come. It's been raining off and on, and that's the excuse they've used. That's why I'm wearing a raincoat. It was raining when I came up here to start this video. Seems to have stopped now. But they said they are not going to come back up here even to get their tent and their belongings inside that tent until I can figure out what's going on with this lantern. So folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, I'm keeping this lantern up here. I'm keeping it lit. I'm going to take my phone down here, and it's going to be dark in a couple hours. It's still a couple of hours before dark. And we are going to set the camera up in one of the rooms in the upstairs of our house where we can look out the window, and we've got some walnut trees with leaves on them. They're kind of blocking partially the campground, but we can see the light through the trees. I know it because I've been up there before getting things when we've been up here camping, and I've seen the lights from inside the domes of the tents, the lanterns, the campfire itself and whatnot. So going to go set the camera up. I'm going to push record, let it go for hours, let it roll all night if it needs to, see if we get anything, because I want to show my friends it's perfectly safe to come camping up here with us. The lantern won't move. It will be there tomorrow morning. If anything gets it, it'll be a raccoon. We'll get it on camera, and my buddy maybe will fess up that he did come up here and get the lantern. He just didn't want to come camping in the rain tonight. So we'll be back. Stay tuned. Let's see what happens. And as always, get my 6. Okay, guys, as you can see, it's almost dark, and I'm setting the camera up in an upstairs window of our house. And our campground is right back here behind this walnut tree, and we should see the lantern from here because the fire pit's right there. I know there's leaves here, but the light should be shining through. I don't know why it's not. A couple hours have passed since I did the opening of this video. I had dinner, hung out a little bit with the family inside because the rain came back. There's our, what's that? There's our kids' pool, our wood pile, our garden. I guess it's possible the battery died, but I had it plugged in all day getting a full charge today, so that wouldn't be the case. But let's go up there and reset it, I guess. Hey guys, I didn't even make it back up to the campground yet. I found my lantern. It's on the table. I noticed there's also some vegetables here from our garden. Sorry for the poor lighting, it's almost dark. Dearly got some vegetables from the garden here a little bit earlier. And I'm assuming, I haven't asked her yet, but I'm assuming she went up there and she saw the lantern, probably saw the light from the garden and went up there and got it because it happens to be on the back table with the vegetables. So guys, okay, our camping buddies, if you're watching this, Dearly must have brought this down, okay? So I'm gonna put it back and I'm gonna do it a little bit differently this time. I'm gonna have you join me as I do this, at least part way, because it's going to be dark in just like 5 minutes, as you can tell from behind me. And I want to make sure that I don't even want to have the tree blocking us from last time. I mean, Dearly might have been up there getting that thing while I was up at the window and just couldn't see her because of the trees. So let's do things a little bit differently. I've got the tripod. We're going to set it up right here. And we're going to aim it up there at the campground from a distance. Put the camera here and record the lantern. I want to make sure that we can see that. Yeah, I can see the fire pit. Okay, so give me just a second to get this phone set up on the tripod. Okay, so here we go. Get my 6 and my 12. I'm just going to put this back where it was. You watch for movement, watch for odd things. Let's see what happens. Hey guys, not trying to be creepy here with this flashlight up to my face, but my kid lost my headlamp. What a night to find that out. I was upstairs looking out the window and I saw that the light was gone, the lantern. Let's see if you can see it back here. There. It's like right down here at the foot of the trail, and we left it up there at the on the side of the fire pit. So we're going to take it back and put it back. And my light I have, this flashlight is not very strong, so we're not going to be able to see much. So keep your eyes peeled and your ears open. I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see what I see. There's the moon up there. Isn't it beautiful? It's not providing much light tonight though because it's cloudy and overcast. It's still been raining. There's the light. Gosh, I can hardly see with this very dim flashlight, but I'm going to be looking around. Here's the apple orchard. Give you kind of a bearings of where we are. Down here's one of our apple orchards that we plan to beside what may potentially be an ancient burial ground right inside of those woods. So there's so much creepy stuff going on here. And there is a grave site in the woods down there. People we believe that died from the Spanish influenza of 1918. So I'm gonna stay out here any longer than I have to. So here's our lantern right here at the beginning of the trail where we go up to our campground. So let's just grab it. Maybe this will help having double lighting. Oh, sorry for the poor lighting, guys. If I had my headlamp, we'd be able to see better. Remember I said no more night hunts? Maybe I should turn the lantern off. Hold on. Okay. So much for no more night hunts. That squeaking sound you hear is just the tripod. I've still got the phone on the tripod. Okay, so here's the... And I need to make sure I'm not seeing... Chair, tent, campfire ring. Okay, we are going to just put the lantern back on here where it was. Turn it on. There we go. Still not lighting the place up very much, but guys, let's just do a quick investigation here. All the chairs seem to be where they were. Here's our tents. Let's make sure we don't have anybody in here. No, there's well, that's the screen. It's hard to see through that with the light, but basically there's pillows, blankets, air mattresses. What we got over here? There's our table. That's the Tupperware containers we keep our tent in. We learned take our tent down and stuff, pack them in these Tupperware containers and leave them up here covered up, and that way we don't have to haul it up here all the time. There's our buddy's tent. It's still shut up. Let's make sure nobody's in here. Nobody or nothing. Something move that light. So we just got air mattresses. There's a lantern just like the one we're using down there. Alright, so we moved their sleeping bags down to the house for them because we knew it was going to rain. We didn't mind if our stuff got wet, but we kind of look out for our buddies. We left their air mattresses in there. They're plastic. We were going to move our stuff down, but the rain started coming back, so we didn't. Alright, so the lantern is on the fire pit. You can see the lights of the house down there. Well, kinda, I can, you might not. Let's try it again, see what we can get. I'm gonna take the phone down there and set it up. Guys, listen very, very closely. See the lantern behind me at the fire pit? I was just putting the phone on the tripod. I had everything stabilized and I saw that light rise. And then I heard that mysterious scream, notorious from our other video. We're heading back up right now, guys. Let me flip the phone and record as I go so you can see what I see. Something picked that light up. Okay, guys. I'm seeing eyes up here. See that? Look at that. And keep your eyes on my flashlight right there where the eyes are. I'm not moving the phone, as you can tell by those eyes. But the light that somebody or something picked up is moving. I just felt a distinct temperature drop. I can see my breath now. Look at that. See that? So the temperature just dropped. There was another set of eyes, but now they're gone. Guys, there's only one thing I know to do in a situation like this. Because the closer I get with that light staying there and whatever has it not moving, the creepier this whole situation is. And I know I'm not going to be brave enough to go all the way up there. So just as I've done in videos past, I'm going to do the bum rush. Get up there, confront whatever it is, see what we can see, and be prepared to get the heck on out of there if we need to. Ready? Is anybody there? Is anybody there? Guys, I don't know if the phone's picking it up, but something's holding that light. I tried talking to it, you heard that. Nobody answered. Let's do the bum rush. On 3, 2, 1. My God, no. Eyes, holy crap. Look at that, guys. I'm standing still and not moving the phone. Whatever has my lantern up there can keep it. Or bring it to me and leave it on my porch if it would like. But I'm not going back up there. I'm gonna go review the tape, do some close-ups and see what we got. Maybe it's a good thing my friends didn't come over tonight to go camping.